Welcome once again, sleuths, suspects, and witnesses. This is day 18 of our virtual book festival, in which we are sharing incredibly amazing indie authors and their books with you all month long. In addition to that, we're doing some wacky stuff on the side. It's a little insane. We get a lot out of control. And I just want to remind everybody tonight that we do have little people in the room. So just so we're aware, okay? This is our nightly schedule that I try to keep on every night. We will try to get you out of here right on time. Sometimes we run a minute or two over, but I'm working on it. Tonight, as I said, we have two fantastic, amazing authors to read for you tonight. MT Falgoust, she's a friend, so I get to call her Melinda. And Mark McCraw is also here, and they are both going to be reading children's-esque books tonight. Children happy, friendly, family-friendly books tonight. We're going to have a really, really good time. So, to start off the night, I'm going to have Mark read first. Mark, can you hold up your book and show us all what it looks like? Nope, in front of your face.
There we go.
You go. No, really in front of your face.
Oh, okay. Can you see it?
Now we can. There you go.
Okay.
So this is called the Toilet Paper Caper. When you are ready, Mark, please take the microphone and read aloud.
Okay, this is a mystery gone foul as well, and I brought my roll with me, so everybody should have a roll of toilet paper with them at all times. This is called the Toilet Paper Caper of 2020. This book is dedicated to my grandson, John. In the year 2020, toilet paper was not aplenty. Stores seemed to run out. I could not understand what it was all about. My mom said it was so funny when some stores raised the prices and other people sold it for more money. I believed a fairy made it disappear, something that we use for our rear. All because of a year of disease. I ran out of toilet paper. I need some more, please. So my dad went to the store, but there was no more. There always used to be toilet paper before. I looked around high and low, but I did not know why the stores were so low. So I got mad because I felt like I had been had over the biggest caper that made the headlines of the paper. So I asked my mom why the workers were so lazy, but she said the world had gone crazy. This was the year that was so hazy, 2020, all over the biggest roll that took a toll on me having to do without. So I figure it was not good to pout. So I just tried to figure out what was the deal when people were buying toilet paper like it was their last meal. I am glad I finally have it. Now I try to conserve every bit. The Toilet Paper Caper of 2020.
Yay! Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Super fun. When you get a chance, everybody, check out the book. It's got some really fun illustrations inside. It's really super cute. Okay, now we are going to have Melinda Falgoust read from her book, which is History Rocks. And because she's traveling, I'm going to show you the screen so that you can see the cover. There it is. History Rocks. You can see that, right, Melinda?
I can.
I did that right. When technology works, it's a grand thing. Okay, so when you are ready, please take the microphone and read aloud for us.
You bet. All right, guys and gals, well, this is History Rocks by Melinda Falgoust. And this is the first in the Wagging Tales Fun Facts collection. Did you know that cavemen had rock bands? Really make a dinosaur from a mosquito trapped in amber? Is the Hope Diamond really cursed? Rock and roll your way through time as this book takes you on a hilariously funny journey through the Stone Age to the Space Age. And we're going to learn just how rocks, minerals, and gemstones have played an important role in history and even still today. After you read this book, you'll never take rocks for granted again. Did you know that the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old? That's a whole lot of birthday candles. When you get to be that old, you probably have a lot of stories to tell. And the third planet from the sun is no different. The Earth was around when dinosaurs roamed the planet. It survived the Ice Age, even if the dinosaurs didn't. It was still orbiting the sun when prehistoric man rocked the first concert, and it witnessed an explosive volcanic eruption city into stone sculptures frozen in time. We know all these events that happened so long ago. After all, the first library wasn't founded until the 7th century BC in Assyria for the ruler Ashurbanipal. And he wasn't handing out library cards. Some of his texts even have a curse that promised a terrible fate to anyone who would steal them. Yikes! Many stories of Earth's historic events were passed along by oral tradition. Some were written down or drawn, like the hieroglyphs of Egypt or the cave paintings at Lascaux, France. But before humans even existed, the Earth had a way to record its stories, and it totally rocks. Rocks, minerals, and gemstones have been around almost as long as the planet. Humans have used them for everything, from tools to building, but they're even more useful than that. Geologists, scientists who study rocks, can use clues like fossils, atomic clocks, and the law of superimposition to piece together Earth's wild history. So if you're ready to rock, let's roll our way through history. Turn the pages and see how rocks, minerals, and gemstones have played an important role in our planet's past. Because history rocks. Chapter 1. How to be a real rock star. You don't have to be Elvis Presley to be a rock star. You just have to be a geologist. The real rock star didn't wear blue suede shoes, though. James Hutton, the father of modern geology, was a Scottish farmer and a naturalist. He was fascinated by the layers of rocks at a place called Sycamore Point near his home in Scotland. He realized the almost vertical layers of red sandstone and gray shale could only have occurred over a long period of time, much longer than people thought the Earth had been around. Well, geology's come a long way since then. And here's another fun fact to rock your socks off. Did you know that there are 37 different branches of geology? Each branch has a specific focus, but not to quarry. We've dug up some cool info for you. Some geologists study time and concentrate on reconstructing the past, like paleontologists. Paleontologists study fossil records found in rocks. Other geologists, like seismologists and volcanologists, study tectonics, how the Earth's crust changes over time, creating earthquakes and volcanoes. Talk about shake, rattle, and roll. Well, certain geology fields study natural resources like petroleum, gemstones, even soil. Hey, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. There are also geologists who study topography, a branch of geology that studies landforms like mountains. But for a career that's truly out of this world, you could become an astrogeologist. Astrogeologists study rocks that aren't even on the planet. They study the geological features of places like Mars and the moon. Talk about far out. And that is what I have with me today.
Okay, we are super excited about this book. I know it's a brand new baby for you. When does it come out?
The ebook drops this upcoming Wednesday and will be available for sale on waggingtailspress.com and on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And the hardcover edition of the book will be out 1 week after that.
Yay! And the peasants rejoice. Congratulations on bringing another story into the world. You are a delight to have on the program. Thank you very much. All right. It's time, everybody. It is time once again for the interrogation portion of our evening. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you, we do have little ears in the room this evening. Tonight, we're back at it. The case of the assassinated author. Andrew Allen Smith, we discovered, stole...
Wrong screen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Growth, tenacity, thank you.
Oh, cool. You guys found, well, at least it was a decent screen. There we go. Let's find the right screen. How about that one? Right screen?
That's it.
Yay! It's the only major technology. Well, forget it. Okay. So, the case of the assassinated author. Andrew Allen Smith stole the Sargonic manuscript we discovered just before Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day. Then he was assassinated. Who is the culprit? Why did they do it? We have 8 suspects. Yes, you heard me right. We have 8 suspects. Chloe Holliday, a mysterious character. She is mysteriously not in the room tonight. Melinda Falgoust is a researcher. Ruby Fink is a psychic. Christopher Gare is our undercover detective, and we discovered him in the room on the 15th. You never know. Amy Kelso is our head librarian. Jules Nelson is our library director. Marianne Wieland is our cafe manager, and Deborah Reed is our reporter. Sadly, Andrew is dead, but his ghost may visit from time to time. Watch your chat boxes for that strange happening. So, tonight, Christopher Gare, you're the lead detective on this case. Do you have anything to get us started off tonight?
I do. I wanted to make real quick sure though. Is Deborah Reed with us or is she not with us?
I am here. I'm just in the car with my kiddos, so I can hear and I can
safe.
talk. Yes.
Well,
Be safe.
this does have to do a little bit with Deborah. I have a prepared brief statement for tonight, and I wanted to say it is with great humility and humbleness that I address the group. First, many of you will be surprised to find out that I'm going to turn my investigation away from the direction it's been going. In doing so, I do owe Deborah Reed a very heartfelt apology for lobbing so many unfounded theories and accusations about her to her and to you. You see, I believe we can all agree we are dealing with a diabolical mind, a mind so precise and razor sharp focused, one using a great deal of foresight, unmitigated planning, and an unparalleled intelligence. Clearly, and again, something I believe in my heart we can all agree on, are all things that are beyond Deborah Reed's capabilities. No offense to Deborah. There will always be those who mastermind crimes and those who ask, do you want fries with that? Deborah might one day be allowed to serve seasoned fries, but that day is not today, and it is perhaps not this crime. Nor will she be allowed to include any sharp plastic utensils with anyone's order. Now, should Deborah turn out to indeed be the perpetrator, I believe we will all see this as a happy accident and one she never predicted, and not just because she's incapable of stretching her mind in that direction, or any direction really, but because her motives will be so simple that we will all have missed them due to their inherent simplicity. Thank you.
Christopher, you better be glad there are children around.
And with that, I open the floor.
All right. Mark McCraw, go ahead.
I have a question for Christopher. I want to know how Melinda was acting when Andrew was killed and the sardonic manuscript was on next to him. Was she actually emotional about it, or did she seem kind of what? Was she different than the rest of the group?
No, she was giggling like everybody else.
Giggling. Ah.
I think there was just a sense of relief in the room.
Mm.
Yeah, we have been noticing Melinda's been giggling quite a bit lately. So
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about that, because how did she act when he was dead? You know.
You never know. But
Pretty
there,
much
you know,
like
to
everyone
be
else.
fair though, there was a lot of giggling coming from a lot of places that night. If
Mm.
you go back and watch the instant replay, there was a lot of laughter going on.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? Ruby, go ahead.
Do we know what the poison is yet from the coroner?
We still have not heard back from the lab yet. We are patiently waiting on that.
You know, laboratories, they're so gosh darn slow these days. You never know how long. You know, the last time I had a blood test, it took them 2 weeks. And I was alive. So just saying.
Somebody mentioned last night, I did watch the replay last night. Somebody mentioned the puffer fish. And just as an FYI, poison from a puffer fish takes anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours to kick in. So it is highly unlikely that's what was used.
Well, and I'm wondering, how do you get poison out of a puffer fish anyway? I mean, don't they have like spines and stuff on them? I would think it would be dangerous to.
It's like CPR, you just blow real hard.
Okay. Who else has questions? Anybody?
I have more, actually.
Go ahead, Ruby. Ask again.
So my husband, I was going over my notes with him, and he was very curious about the book that was found by Andrew, that besides the sardonic manuscript, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And he was very curious if that book had any curses attached to it, because that could be another way he was killed.
Yeah, but actually, I have skimmed the Book of the Dead, and although they may not be curses per se, there are spells for crossing from one realm to another. As you read the Book of the Dead, they do refer to them as spells, not as prayers. So something to consider. It's an option.
Ooh,
Actually,
I'm a very smart honey.
Ruby, I have a quick
Curses
question.
foiled again. Nice, Andrew. Okay, who else had a question?
For Ruby, actually. Quick question. When I was watching the thing last night, the repeat of it, you had mentioned the 2, 4, 6 had come up again, but all of a sudden you've set it on that this is a page number. When did that happen? Because as far as I know, you didn't know what it was for, and as of last night, now you know it's a page number.
I wasn't sure, but there were a couple times when I was talking about it, and I remember we were going over, Melinda and I were going over some pages before the manuscript was stolen, and it might have been 246, and I do know that there was a very interesting map on that page, so that is something that came to mind. I'm definitely not, or Melinda can talk.
Go ahead, Melinda.
I'll refresh your memory just a little bit, Ruby.
Cool.
When you first came to me, you said that you had a strong feeling that I should pay attention to that number,
Mhm.
and that you were inclined to believe, even though it was a little fuzzy, you
Mhm.
were inclined to believe that it did indicate a page number. And that's how we got to that coat of arms crest with the jewels and the rubies and the treasure chest on it.
Thank you for the recap, Melinda.
Thank you.
For some of us weren't here, so it's good that you're reminding us of that information. I have received a message from Andrew's ghost, two of them actually. He says, sounds more like 404 not found or 500 internal system error. Anything is possible. Ruby, I think you need to get your systems updated. Have you done a reboot lately?
No, but my husband is an engineer. I can have him work on that.
Okay, good idea. Any other questions out there? Go ahead, Mark.
So my question is 246. Is it possible that page could have had poison on it? Just that page?
What do you think, Christopher? What are the chances that a single page of a book was poisoned? And do we have any evidence that you've noticed in the transcripts that Andrew actually opened the book?
To say he would have had to have opened the book while everybody was standing there watching him. I think it would be noticeable.
Also, Melinda and I would probably be dead if there was poison on that page.
We did touch it.
We
A
did.
lot.
And then we put it back
Okay.
on the shelf, and then we went out to coffee.
And then
Okay, so the
yeah.
second question I have is, has anybody done anything to, Christopher, have you done anything to check fingerprints on the cup?
I'm sure everything was done when we had our team in here. However, I still have not heard back yet. Things run at a snail's pace.
Well,
Gotcha.
and can I just remind you guys, we're almost at 2,000 fingerprints to process through CSI. That's going to take some time.
Yes.
So, Melinda, this is interesting. You said that Ruby had approached you. So originally, when you and Ruby first met, she approached you about this book and got you involved in it.
She did. It was almost as if the spirits moved her as I was walking along on the street one day. And she stopped me. And at first I thought she was a little strange. But, you know, as a researcher and working with authors, I come across strange people all the time. And so she didn't put me off that much. So I listened to what she had to say. And I was so intrigued that I had to follow up on it.
So, Melinda, the answer is yes.
A long way around.
Well, Ruby,
Leave it to
Yes.
Christopher to get a straight answer out of everybody.
Ruby, how did you come to know about this book that you decided to approach Melinda, and why did you approach Melinda?
I just encountered her, and I had this strange vision of 246, and I knew it had some connection to her, and I said we needed to follow up on that, and we had to find the connection. And oh gosh, I got to check my notes, but I believe the manuscript was involved at the time. Get back to me on that. I need to check my notes really fast.
I have just realized Amy is not in the building. Jules, has there ever been another time when your head librarian has not shown up for work and not called in sick? I find this highly curious.
No, she did it last Saturday too, so.
She's taking weekends off.
Mhm.
Is this a pattern? Did Andrew die on a weekend?
She's probably looking up Ashurbanipal's curses put on the texts so nobody else can steal a manuscript from the library.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Oh, yes. According to my notes, because my brain is just so fuzzy all the time, but you know that.
That's your answers. Yes.
I saw the number, and I had a strange sense that she had to research her genealogy, which she started doing, and that led us to the manuscript. And the only copy we could find was at that library, so we went there to check it out.
Andrew says, fuzzy brain take 1. I think by now it's probably fuzzy brain take 15, but we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Marianne, do you have any questions? You've been interestingly quiet this evening.
Well, I keep thinking about the fact that Officer Gare had to point out that I was the butcher barista, and having been chef snuff, I believe he said as well. And I have a restraining order by Gordon Ramsay, but just let me say that was not my fault. I'm sorry I chopped the end of his finger off. We were in one of my other cafes before I came here. Let's just say he and I were a little closer than you all know about. And it was
okay.
I won't say anymore.
I'm calling the Inquirer just to let you know.
Well,
all right.
There's a lot you don't know.
That frightens me just a little bit. We have about 5 minutes. Andrew's ghost says he would like pictures.
Actually, I like what Angela typed in the box.
I think he's with Grandma, and I think Grandma would be very interested in him. She used to be a chanteuse as well as a head librarian, and she does know a stud muffin when she sees one. As do I.
Oh.
Okay. Jules, do you have anything to add? I don't know how after that moment. Once in a while, Andrew's ghost can be a little unpredictable. So, Jules, do you have anything to add?
No, it was just Angela has a question in the chat box.
Can you read it, please?
Yeah, it says, can't Ruby just ask Andrew how he died? I mean, this is kind of in her wheelhouse now.
No,
well,
not
that's
really.
a good point. I mean, don't you have ways of conferring with the dead? Aren't there possibilities?
I do not. That is not my wheelhouse. I do palm reading and tarot card readings, and sometimes I get random visions with people on the street. That is my character skill set. So
it would be impossible for you to phone a specter.
I don't see how.
Unless you were bribed, then you might do it.
Oh, well, I mean, I could just take it. Who wants to give me money for it?
Do a seance.
All the times Andrew's phoned in a performance.
$1,000, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Angela mentions Andrew would never hold still for a palm reading. So, hey, Ruby, you got that going for you.
Thank goodness. I'll still take the money, though.
Well, of course you would, wouldn't we all? All right, we have time for one last question before my timer goes off. Does anyone else have any other questions for our pool of suspects? Christopher, go ahead.
Marianne, you've only been working at the cafe for 2 years. Where were you prior to that?
Well, I have had cafes in other areas. Obviously, the Maldives, that's where I met Lumbo. And also in Colombia with, I have an association with Boomquisha's family. They're in the spice trade. And I do have some properties down there, and someone else runs my cafe still in that area. I do get most of my spice from Boomquisha's family.
Christopher, you might want to check the immigration paperwork.
Good idea.
And one final question before we leave. Gary wants to know, Marianne, did anyone else die in your other cafes?
Well
is not a good way to start.
There was a homeless man once that just happened to wander by, and he keeled over, and I don't think anyone ever investigated that. that was a long time ago. That was before Gordon Ramsay even. So at least they said he was homeless.
Andrew's ghost is imploring that there is a wrench in the works, and it all seems a bit screwy. So there you go. All right, everybody. I don't think I can take much more tonight. I think I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in tonight's interrogation session. Who did this? Who killed poor Mr. Smith? It's so sad. For those, I'm literally crying. It's so sad. Ask your questions, collect clues, sling your accusations at the end of the month to win prizes. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. Don't forget our replays are all available on our YouTube channel. There are links on our Facebook page, links on our website. Please go check those out so that we can perhaps uncover some latent clues that we had forgotten. Andrew, welcome back to the world of the living. Holy moly, this is so much fun. I can't even believe how much fun this is. Okay. All right. I gotta get my fingers together. Here we go. In addition to playing our wonderful mystery game, we also have a scavenger hunt going all month long. Thank you to Riddle Master Jacob Bullen. He is an amazing human being who has helped create some really fun riddles. You'll find the clues in the books that were read each night. So if you've forgotten which books were read, go back and check out the replays to figure out the answers to the riddles. Fingerprint casebook has been updated. Deborah Reed has 140 fingerprints, Amy Kelso 137, and Andrew Smith, even though he's dead, still he's dusting for fingerprints at 131.
I will catch back up on my next reading.
Okay. Our leading detectives, Chloe Holliday at 96, Jen Rinaldi at 92, Emma Palova at 85. We have a tie for fourth place with Christopher Gare and Mark Love. And Ruby Fink is in fifth place with 74 fingerprints.
I made the hand. Woohoo!
Yay, you made the hand.
Yeah.
We've had a total of 443 sets of eyeballs on this craziness so far this month. Let's get more people in the room. We got about 9 days left. 8 days left. 7 days left? Diana doesn't do math. I don't know. Okay, there's a witness ledger. This is the running total every night so far. Let's get those totals back up to 46, because the more we share this craziness with people, the more exposure our books get, and the higher all of our exposure on book sales will go. So let's keep doing that for each other. Next, we're going to spin the spinning wheel of happiness. It's always fun to give away books. I love giving away your books, and I'm tremendously appreciative that you have all donated them for this tremendously fun part of our evening. If your name appears on the spinning wheel of happiness, please, please, please send me your mailing address to diana@pagespromotions.com, and authors will ship out books by March 5th. Now, while I prepare said spinning wheel of happiness, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just saying by the 5th.
Yes, by the 5th. Yes.
Five.
Yes, five.
$5 foot long or something like that.
Or something like that. While I prepare said spinning wheel of happiness, we're going to go around the room and do the lightning round question, which doesn't seem to be so lightning anymore, but who knows? Tonight might be different. Tonight, because I haven't asked it yet, and because it is a staple of all author questions, we all want to know, are you a pantser or a plotter? Pantser or plotter? Yes, you can be a hybrid, and I know many of you are. If you identify as a hybrid, please tell us that as well. But we're going to go around the room and figure this out. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the lingo and terminology in the literary world, a pantser is someone who just sits down and writes as it comes into their head. Sometimes they have an overview idea of what they're going to do, but it's not necessarily planned. A plotter is somebody like me, passionate plotter. I'm at like the far end of the plotter spectrum. I have an organized outline, color-coded timelines, the whole insanity, and I just fill in the holes as I go. Hybrid would be somewhere in the middle. So we're going to start with Mark McCraw. How do you identify plotter, pantser, or hybrid?
I'm definitely a pantser, no doubt.
And how many books have you penned thus far?
I've done 6, and I have the 7th one coming out not in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Awesome. Awesome. Mandy Jo, plotter, pantser, hybrid.
Book 1 was more of a plotter because it was a fictional book, but a training manual. And then the other 2 have been pantsers. And the current one I'm working on is definitely being a pantser.
I like how you are telling me that your book is in control, not you. I find that very intriguing. Christopher, what about you?
Answer is the way.
Yeah, okay. Gary, what about you?
Mostly a pantser. The closest I come to a plotter is I write notes to myself.
Okay, so maybe a hybrid. Okay. Jules Nelson, what about you?
Definitely a pantser. I write all these chunks and then I sort them so that they make sense. And I'm looking at this wall of Post-it notes behind. So you see this beautiful blank spot here, but I have this like mass chaos on this side. So definitely pantser.
Okay. Jen Rinaldi, what about you?
Oh, I'm an ugly creative mess pantser.
At least you're owning it. I like it. Ruby Fink.
I am a hybrid. I usually have a general outline and then I go into it, and then sometimes the story just goes off on its own. The characters say, I want to go do this thing, and I have to just follow along.
Okay. Angela Spears, what about you?
I am, I don't like answer. Discovery writer. Yeah.
Okay, that's not one of the options.
I'm not a plotter.
Okay. That's a great way to answer the question, I guess. Dana Storino, what about you?
Sorry, it took me a minute to
That's fine.
unmute. I am a pantser that plots an outline first. So I guess I'm a hybrid. So I plot my outline, and then like her, I like my characters just take turns.
Okay. Melinda, what about you?
I am part lycanthrope, part vampire. So I guess that makes me a hybrid. Yeah, definitely.
Also not an appropriate answer.
Yeah, I'm definitely a hybrid. I do the outline, but I definitely venture off of it and take the side roads all the time.
Okay. Marianne.
Yeah, more of a hybrid, kind of like what Ruby said. I start out with a general outline, and then sometimes it goes of its own accord, and I have to follow that mostly. Sometimes I'll stop and do a mini outline to wrap the whole thing up. Mostly a hybrid.
Okay. Deborah Reed, if you can answer safely.
I am a pantser.
And I still love you. Go figure.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And Andrew Smith, what about you?
I just sit down and it spews out. So I am 100% a pantser, but there are so many threads. I have 6 concurrents going right now. and they don't get mixed up. They don't go side to side. And whenever I sit down with one, it just sprays out on the paper. No planning, no thought, and all the little plot holes fix themselves along the way because it's all right there.
Because you're magical, and I don't understand it at all.
I'm learning how to be an author.
Don't get it. Let's see, Mackenzie, I know you submitted to our anthology. If you could put your answer into the chat, pretty please, I would appreciate that, just so that we know how the young people in the world are coming up. She says, I have to say I'm a pantser. I can plan it out entirely, but still go off what comes to mind, which takes me way off track from the original plotted idea. Good for you. That's all right. You're young yet. You'll figure out that an outline is absolutely the way to go. You'll learn.
Wait. Fire the laser. Let's get rid of that word. Laser firing. Get that thought out of there. Laser got you.
Got the Men in Black technology over there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. The killer flashlight with laser inside. That's not all. You can go blue and green.
Wow.
Mandy, you do the outline after the fact. That's helpful. All right.
My husband is a hybrid, and he works on multiple books at the same time. So yeah.
Well, thank God you said he was a writer.
I'm practicing.
What did you say, Nikki?
I'm practicing how to write at school.
That's awesome.
And all I do is
What do you
really build off of one topic. And then I just do random stuff after I know my topic, and then I write random facts about the topic.
Very cool. Young writers in the room. I love this. Fantastic. All right, here we go. We are going to spin the spinning wheel of happiness because it's getting close to time. Okay. Andrew, can you see the wheel, please?
I can see the wheel. Did you press the button?
Oh gosh, no. Okay, here we go. Pressing the button. Thank you. All right, here we go. We are going to spin the first spin for Mark's book, Toilet Paper Caper, and then we are going to spin the wheel for Melinda's book, History Rocks. And it hasn't come out yet, but she will send you a copy as soon as it comes out. And here we go.
We'll get him.
It's so much fun winning free stuff, isn't it, Deb? Such a good time. Okay, here we go. Spinning the wheel second time for Melinda's book. Congratulations, everybody. Please tell me that wheel worked. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Again, please, pretty please, let me do this because, you know, Amy's a teacher and she'll mark me down if I don't do this. So if you want nightly loot on tonight's spinning wheel, send me an email at diana@pagespromotions.com and we will send you out your loot. We have a little bit of time left. I would like to go around the room and hear any parting thoughts from anyone who might offer them. Andrew, I know there's always something burgeoning from your brain.
I thought there was always something burgeoning from Christopher's, but for those of you that didn't see it, there's tonight's sunset.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, beautiful.
So beautiful.
Beautiful.
I am so envious.
Wasn't that wonderful?
So
all I have to do is match the words to the sunset.
Yeah, that's easy. You're a pantser. You can do it.
It's probably going to be about Marianne's grandma visiting me in the middle of a call. I mean, it's just
so
not
Andrew,
with children present.
So,
I know.
Andrew, for those who may not know, can you give us an introduction to 29,000 Sunsets, please, since you
Yes, if you haven't been there, go to 29000sunsets.com. It's been a site since 2010. And since 2010, I have been posting nice little thoughts about just about everything, along with a picture I have taken just about every day. Sometimes I reuse pictures, but not often. And some type of insight based on something that happened during the day. Originally started as something for my children to give them some guidance in case someday I was no longer. It also is branched out and has over 6 million hits around the world, and lots of people that I don't know because I don't allow comments. And even when I don't post it to Facebook, it gets assailed by people and read quite often, and I get emails from time to time about it. 29,000 Sunsets, the place for you to visit. Order today. Operators are standing by. This is
I love 29000sunsets.com. I read it in the morning with Coco. It's a great way to turn on your brain and get started with a positive mindset every day. So I highly recommend it. Christopher, do you have anything to add before we go?
Thank God there were young people in the room tonight after I did that before Deborah.
And Deborah's children were in the room, just so you know.
I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, just remember paybacks, Christopher.
Doesn't matter. It was good for me. That's what counts.
Oh, I see. It's all about you.
Deborah, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, Christopher better watch out.
I have two things.
Yeah.
In addition,
yeah.
If you haven't seen it, new book by Christopher, great book. And Deborah also has a new book, the Wonderland Code, great new books. You get to hear about them here soon, or actually you've already heard about both of them this month.
Yeah, and if you missed it, go back and listen. Yeah, absolutely. It's another wonderful thing that we get to do is share brand new books. There are quite a few brand new books that just came out either last month, this month, or will be coming out this month. This is the best way to find them, is to come every night. Mark McCraw, go ahead.
So I've got some good news. I talked to you before about Diana, that I got invited by Simon & Schuster to go to New York, and I've never been to Times Square, and I'm really excited because I'll get to meet some of those executives and stuff who actually, run the company and all that stuff. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Andrew, will you put the link in the chat, pretty please, for 29,000 Sunsets? It's really easy. It's 29000sunsets.com. But he's going to put it in there. See, he did. It's amazing. Okay. Ruby, any final thoughts before we go?
Not really. It's actually very distracting. My husband's making fried chicken downstairs. Like, oh, I'm so hungry.
All right. Jules, anything from you before we go?
Just, I got my first loot. Apparently it went from Michigan to Pennsylvania, back to Michigan. So it's had its own adventure. So it's the time traveling all on its own.
If books could talk. Wait, they kind of do. Okay, Melinda, anything from you before you very carefully make your drive back home?
I'm still at Burger King. No, thanks guys again for coming to listen to us read every night. I always enjoy hearing everybody else's stuff, and it's always fun when you guys let me cut up reading my own stuff. And I've got to say, for the millionth time, but I don't care how many times I say it, it's not enough. Thank you, Diana, for putting all this craziness together. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, core group, Christopher, Deborah, Andrew. You guys are amazing. Amy, who's not here, but she always bashes me anyway. So, but it takes a village, and I'm so glad I found this tribe.
Me too. We're glad to have you. Someday I'll get to meet you in person and give you a real life hug. So I'm putting that on the agenda. And Marianne, anything before we go?
I don't know. I think I've said about enough.
Okay. Jules,
all my secrets are coming out.
Jules, anything before we go?
Huh? Nope. This is my daily last session, so it's always a great part of my day. So
awesome. Thank
Quick
you,
question.
everybody. Yes. Quick question. Go ahead, Mandy Jo.
Melinda, are you doing an audio for that? For the book?
Yes, but I don't have a definitive date on when it's gonna hit. It depends on, I have a studio at my house, much like Chloe always shows up in, where it's basically a renovated closet that's got the soundproofing, because I do my own audiobooks as well. So as soon as I can get in there and do it, I will.
And Mackenzie, you are very welcome. We're very happy to have you as a student author in our tribe. You contributed to our anthologies, and we really appreciate that. And we hope that you continue to grow with us through your writing adventure journey career. So I hope you'll remember us when you get famous and have 15 books out into the world. You'll remember that this is where you came to discover that we're all nuts together.
I thought that was just me.
No, not just you. Christopher's in the room. Okay, everybody have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you all back tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.